Hey, friends. So, I had an interesting experience yesterday. It was one of those moments where I basically recognized something due to the resistance I was perceiving in myself. And it's kind of one of these, it's almost like one of the principles of this work that our resistance, the ways in which, the millions of ways in which we resist alignment, or, it's like doing the work, the way we resist doing the work tells us something about the work. It's all these, all these little facets of how to approach the work oftentimes are illustrated by the ways that we're avoiding it, or the ways that we're resisting. It's one of the perennial experiences of anyone doing deep inner work. So what happened was I did my morning yoga meditation. I described a few days ago the feeling of getting out of bed in the morning and the kind of stickiness. It's like my body has this residue in it. And my morning yoga routine, physical routine, is a kind of process of leaning through that and opening through that and letting that what feels like residue. I mean, it's stiffness in the body, but it actually feels like a kind of sludge or a goo that gets in there. And that my job, as when I'm doing my yoga, is to just stretch, breathe, open, move, expand, sometimes contract, draw the sludge out of my body. I'm sure anybody who's got an early morning yoga routine can probably relate to this. So I described that experience a few days ago. Well, yesterday I did all that, did my meditation, and then it came time to go into work mode on the on just some business stuff that I've been surveying and sort of picking up what my next steps might be. And immediately I felt this resistance. It was like a sludge, like a goo, like the same thing that I feel in my physical body, but now I'm feeling it on the mental level. And I ran for cover. I went and did something to distract myself. And it was like, this is what I was saying a moment ago. I clocked it about a half second later, and I went, oh, look at me resisting going through the sludge. And I connected that kind of psychological resistance with the physical resistance. It's the same thing. It's the exact same experience on a different bandwidth. And I what resonated for me, what immediately kind of clicked, was the phrase karma yoga, which Sadhguru has defined, I'm sure other people as well, as the karma of act, or the yoga of action. So immediately I realized, oh, that's what karma yoga means, in the same way that my physical yoga is the yoga of breathing through the gunk and resistance and tension and sludge of my physical body. Karma yoga is breathing through the sludge and resistance and gunk of my mental body, of my experience in the world, my larger experience in the world. It's just an expanded out version of that same experience. And I was like, karma yoga, that's what. So now, whenever I feel that resistance around whatever it is that I kind of know I'm supposed to be doing, I have a reference point. Oh, it's just like getting up in the morning and moving a little bit, because man, at this point, I've had a physical practice now for years, and I've been really consistent about it for the last couple years, and I don't know how I would live without it. I truly don't know how I would live. The difference between my physical body when I get out of bed and my physical body after that 30-minute, 35-minute routine, if that's all I do, sometimes I do a little more, it's absolutely categorically, I'm living in a new body. So the notion that I'm tolerating that level of gunk in any aspect of my life was like, whoa, I got to get on this karma yoga thing. And now I kind of, something is, to me anyway, is helpful about that, because I have no trouble now that I know how my physical body responds through the practice, leaning into the resistance and just not allowing the resistance to really slow me down is very easy to do. It's not, yes, every morning I still have to kind of do it, but it's so evident to me what is happening, and it's so I've run the experiment so many times as to how do I feel now and how do I feel after, that they're like one thing now. They're not. The process is simply, it's like one thing with the resistance and with the freedom. It's all just there's not a lot of struggle. And man, if I could feel that way about every aspect of my life, wow, that would be remarkable, to be able to feel like there's no friction in all those domains of my life, and in any area, having it be as simple as a yoga practice, which I truly believe it is. There may be complexities to what we have to do. There may be any number of new poses, new asanas, new movements we have to learn. But clocking that it's a practice. It's really interesting to me, and I think I'm somebody who just works well like this. Maybe some of you are as well. If I can turn it into a practice, it's like it throws a net around what can otherwise be a kind of amorphous and a little bit chaotic to control aspect of life. And something like a yoga practice, well, this is the condition of my physical body, this is the practice, and this is what comes out of that. There's a very satisfying and as I continue the practice longer and longer, I become more, and it becomes more and more just, I'm so confident that no matter what's in my body, I know how to deal with it. Whether it's yoga or qigong or whatever, there's so many ways in which I have now had the experience of, if there's an issue in my body, I know how to solve it. It might take a fair amount of work. Depending on the issue, it may take more or less time, but I know I can deal with it. I know I have the tools. I know that there is a practice. Even if I don't know the practice, I know there is a practice and a way to get there. But then you go out, you expand that out into the larger level of life, in our relationships, in our career, in our creative work, in our blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden in our parenting, all of a sudden it's like, oh, my practice is so nice because it's so contained. Life is so vast. Well, the notion of karma yoga gives us a practice. It's kind of telling us it's all a practice. And there are allegories between the kind of micro and the macro. And if we know that, then the macro, the larger scale, higher level, whatever we want to call it, doesn't feel so vastly overwhelming. It's just another level of the same thing. And for me anyway, again, recognizing that and knowing how to kind of that, recognizing that gives me the sense, okay, I know how to engage here. I'm feeling this resistance. I'm feeling this gunk. What do I need to do? I need to expand into it. I need to walk straight into it and let myself stretch. I mean, one of my favorite things about my yoga practice is that I very much improvise it. I have a series that's very simple, and then I just let my body do whatever it wants to do. Well, sounds a little bit like life. Go into that resistance, engage, and then move. See where the discomfort is. Feel the the painful parts. Don't hurt. Don't drive. Don't compact or compress that pain, but let it live a little bit. Feel what it's about. What's really going on? Is it what's the geometry of that pain? What's the geometry of the release? All that stuff becomes available on every level of existence. So it's encouraging. Thanks, folks. Much love. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.